I, for one, think this is going to go magnificently well.
I'm going to be the best.
She's going to be the best.
I'm the prettiest.
As if.
I got a line of here and I figured
He's going first.
guess which one it is.
I'm going first. You follow me, buddy. We're good. We're all good. I'm famous because you remember me as an image on a screen. A beam of brilliant light was projected through my photographed face onto a movie screen, broadcast on a television screen, embedded onto a magnetic tape, VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray, and now it's been multiplied above the Earth's atmosphere into trillions of satellite-transmitted pixels of color onto billions of screens. I'm famous. Now, since you've seen me over and over and over again on your screens, those screens are a part of your memory. You're already making all of the connections between me, this biological representative of your earlier screens, and your past, your family, the time Dad brought the VHS home to play on your new VCR, the time you were sick from school and there it was, like an old friend on your television. The time you went to a friend's house, he had the DVD set, you'd already memorized all the lines, but you repeated them back and forth to each other and laughed. Yes, I'm famous. But in the whirlwind of your thoughts right now, as I'm saying these things to you, the thing with fame is, you're already ranking my magnitude of fame as thoughts of the very famous, the more famous than me come to you. I know. You're thinking, well, he's not that famous. No, you're right. There are people on way more screens far more often than me. I mean, there's an entire fame hierarchy. More screens, more often, more famous. Yeah, you're right. I'm famous, but I'm not that famous. I'm not famous enough. It would be much better if a very famous person was on this screen saying words right now. Your interest calibrated exactly to their level of fame or mine. This hasn't even been that great so far. Let's face it, it's just a sort of famous person talking about being sort of famous. You're already sort of preferring the earlier pixelized version of me, the one from your screens, because that's the one you know, the more famous one. Because come on, you can watch this and maybe tell a friend, hey, I saw this weird thing. It was unusual. That guy from The Thing, remember Back to the Future? Of course they do. Everybody remembers Back to the Future in the whole world. I am too famous. I can't compete with the power of that thing because, I'm just a guy. I'm with a wife of 38 years and 4 children and many grandchildren, a dog, 2 birds, but that thing is a legendary touchstone of cinema history that's transformed me into a iconic, legendary legend icon of pop, that people stare at, okay? Trust me, stare at. So I'm going to try to tell you some stories about being in the shadow of a behemoth, regular guy, but here's the thing about me. I'm famous, and I'm too famous, and I'm not famous enough. All at the same time, all in front of everybody.
It's real. It really is a crazy atmosphere.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of people come.
No kidding.
Not for
now,
me.
who's going
Not
to
for
be
me.
beside
It's for Michael
you?
Fox. Michael J.
Yeah,
Fox will be
yeah.
there. Christopher Lloyd will be there, and I will be there. Just the guys.
And then it's funny when I'm at work sometimes. Like this one guy is such a big Back to the Future fan, and I would just sit at the nurse's station, and he's at the station talking to us. Oh, went to a Comic-Con show, blah, 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 Back to the Future, and he's telling everybody about the Back to the Future, and I just sit there quietly, and then I go, oh, Tom Wilson who plays Biff? Yeah, he's great, It's my cousin. And they're like, what?
Yeah, that's why I'm here. Half my friends don't believe me. I'm like, I was getting today.
But I think everybody knows Biff. And I think your piece in those movies, bring those movies together and make the movie.
That's why
your little piece in that.
That's why he's VH1's number 5 top 80s icon of all time. Biff is number 5.
Wow.
And 100. If you count the VH100 of the 80s, you're number 5.
Did you
All right,
know
who are the
that?
top four? I'm coming after him. I'm coming after him. How's it go, sir?
Ryan, where are you?
All right, you have a good one. But I'm back in Philadelphia to be famous. But here's the thing. In order to be famous, you have to look presentable. And I try to look nice. Wear a jacket, a shirt. I left them all at my sister's house. Way that way. I'm in big trouble, folks. I'm in big trouble. Okay, now this lady wants me to help her son buy a suit. So you need... What is your size? Do you know?
He's not sure.
I don't know.
You don't know. 40 regular? Where are you from?
Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City. We're close. We're very close. 41 regular fits you great. It fits you. That's a strong... I'm sweating. That's for the panel. But my own. Hey, fist bump.
Yeah.
I'll even shake it. I'll hug you later. There's a line for that.
That might
It's
be
actually
nice.
the line for me
Let's see
hugging.
how it goes.
Okay.
You making a movie?
I'm making a movie. And so since you're in everything, I think I'll put you in it.
Okay.
You're an
I'll
absolute.
charge you for it too.
All right.
You must be the actor who plays Biff.
I am.
Yeah, I heard you're. Oh yeah, a friend
Yeah,
of mine
good
who drives
job,
Bill
Biff.
from his father went to
Good
high school.
job.
Do you remember
Thanks.
a
I
guy
like
named
you and
Bill
Patrick.
Doyle? He went to high school. You Radnor High School. You
I
know-
remember Bill very well.
Really?
You know what Bill was? A fabulous trombone player.
It reminds me of family. So when we watch it together, I watched it with my family, I watch it with my daughter, so it's just something that we can bond over.
That was back when films were films, and like they're actually made with love and effort, and it was just one of the most beautiful films like ever made.
It means so much to me. It's my all-time favorite movie, and I don't know what else to do. I'm so excited right now.
It was just something that my dad introduced to me, and it was really something great for our family to sit down and watch together. So it really means a lot.
It means everything.
It might seem like I'm super famous at these things, but I'm not. I'm not famous enough. Okay, you see Christopher Lloyd sitting there? He's sitting there because there are hundreds of people outside the photo booth waiting for a photo with him. That's just how it is. He's way more famous than me. I'm showing you every person who got a photo with me.
You do a last call for Tom Wilson.
Then we did the cast photos. There is so much energy in this tiny room. Their hearts are full of such love and longing. They want to touch Michael, make eye contact with him. And Mike works so hard to connect, to give them some kind of connection from this guy they saw on their screen. Now, this lady wanted me out of the picture. I understand. To a lot of the people, it's good to have me in it, but it would be great if I stood in back or something. This man lost a leg and badly injured the other, and he wants a photo standing up. Mike gives it everything he's got. There's a lot of emotion in that room. A lot. Right after the photos were done, they rushed us over to the Q&A panel. Thousands of people were waiting. Now, I'm out there first because I'm the least famous, but I didn't have time to get my camera ready. They said, "You're on, get out there, get out there." I was so confused. I went out smiling and waving and hanging on for dear life.
Marty McFly himself, Mr. Michael J. Fox.
Michael fell. Yeah, it was in the news all over the place. I'm not showing it. He fell, and everybody gasped, and he recovered and was great. But this time I swore I wasn't going to do it, but send in the clowns. At this point of the song, my heart is broken, and I'm just hanging on, you know?
Yes, I do.
We help you understand it.
It was your whole life.
It was my whole life.
It
was our whole life.
It was our whole life together. So I just have never known your take on it.
I guess like going all the way back to being a kid, it was normal. When people ask me like, what was it like growing up with a famous dad? It's like, well, I don't really know. What's it like growing up with a non-famous dad? I don't really know. Like, right. I don't think I knew anything was unique or different about it until high school for me. And I remember that moment really specifically. Because like I think in grade school, it just wasn't really a thing. So it wasn't until my freshman year of high school that a teacher that I really liked one day said to me, you know I'm only nice to you because you're Biff's daughter. And I know she was joking, but it really hurt my feelings. And I remember, like, I've been thinking about that and like what that moment meant for me. And I think for me, it just was sort of the beginning of kind of like questioning people's intention in regards to my family. Like, are people, once they find out who my dad is, which is not something that I broadcast, like ever in my life, it's not been something that I volunteer. Well, my dad's just my dad, like
with a job.
And that's his job. Mm-hmm. That's his work. I don't know a single other girlfriend that I have who wants the entire topic of conversation to be her dad's job.
Yeah.
Being able to have you come to my school, come to my college and like teach, you know, little master classes to the grad students and talk to my friends and like really give my friends like really good acting advice. Where it's not because you were in Back to the Future, but it's because you're actually a really hardworking actor, which most people don't know what that actually means. I would have my friends come to our house in college when I wasn't even there to like pick your brain. You know, God bless my friend Andrew Dillman. I love him. I would just show up and Andrew Dillman would be at the house having a sandwich with you talking about stand-up comedy. You know? Like, I would open the door and be like, what are you doing here? I just called your dad. I just, wanted to get some acting advice.
I'm going to kick your ass. It had to be my approach. It had to be. I don't even like to say ass. I say a double scribble, but the role was for a bully. I'd never played a bully before. I didn't want to play the role of a bully. I've been pushed around by bullies my whole life. I mean, look, when I was young, I was as thin as a twig. I weighed as much as a small dry leaf. I had sensitive artistic inclinations. I have asthma. Okay, that's 0 for 4 in bully language. I was pushed around by everyone, everywhere. When I was a kid, in the city of brotherly love. Get off the bike, Wilson. What? It's my bike. Bam! Right in the face. Now, I watched Columbo and Starsky and Hutch. When you get punched in the face, you get knocked unconscious. Turns out you just cry and have an asthma attack and give the kid your bike. I hate bullies. Jesus wants me to love everyone. Everyone is my brother and my sister. My parents, they taught me to approach everyone with compassion. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. I hate bullies. This is the building where I first auditioned for Back to the Future. It's now a part of the Fox lot. The Fox lot's way down there. It takes up city blocks. And they've expanded the lot all the way down. That used to be a gas station right there, chain link fence. The hedge was higher, and now it's Fox Studios parking, and they don't make many movies here anymore, but they do make a Celebrity Name That Tune. I don't know what that is, but this was where I went to the first audition. where I went in. I'd done TV commercials and TV shows, but not a big movie. And I came in, and Judy Taylor, the assistant casting director, said, "Well, you're supposed to be God's gift to acting. Let's see what you've got." And I went through the scene, and she said, "Let me get Mike in here, the casting director." And I did it again, and I did it again, and I did it again. And then they started pairing up actors together. Ron, you read it with Ted. Richard, read it with Norman. Tom, here, I'd like you to meet Crispin Glover. You guys read it together. Crispin was the first person I read the scene with in the auditions. We came out here with our papers. It was a custom scene. They didn't want anyone to really read the script of the movie. It was top secret, but they made a scene between Biff and George McFly, and we came out here. It might be the same hedges, flipped over 40 years. I don't, but the hedge was right here, and we came and we were right next to the hedge and got the people. Let's run it once. You got my homework finished, McFly. And Crispin turned into like a question mark of a human being. Smiling, but eyes full of fear, trying to please me, but being so afraid, it said, "Well, Biff, And I stopped because I almost started to cry because I was looking at myself being pushed around by 1,000 bullies in 1,000 different places. I couldn't continue it. Crispin said, "Is everything okay?" Yes. Let's do it again. And I had to change. I had to change right there. I had to change from an internal approach of believing that I'm a bully and believing that I'm really doing this to this person and enjoying it, to an external approach, because my heart couldn't take it. So, I forget, I think it's Boleslavsky in his book, or Stanislavski, one of the Russian skis with acting books. They talked about assuming all of the physicality of an animal, doing an impression of that animal. And Biff, in one blink of an eye, became a rooster, moving my neck, puffing my chest out, a little louder. "You got my homework finished, McFly?" Because I had to do that. And we went in from this hedge, we went in to this building. And we got it.
I think it affected my life in a positive way. It's been a lot of fun. I think you yourself have had experiences that you might not have ever had, meeting Princess Diana. So I think it's given you a lot of different fun experiences, and it's been fun just going along with it and watching you, and we're thrilled that you had the opportunity.
But it affected you in a good way. You would say it was positive.
Oh, yes. Yes. Positive.
I think SpongeBob is more fun, and SpongeBob is timeless as well. Salty Spittoon, iconic. The Tattletale Strangler, Flats the Flounder, Patrick's dad, it's in all the memes. It's amazing.
Right, Danielle.
It's like a Venn diagram with my family. It'll be like, I like something, or me and my dad like something, and my mom doesn't like it. But like a movie like Back to the Future, it gets everybody.
Everybody was there when my mom died. My two brothers, my two sisters, my aunt. She died on New Year's Eve, my dad's birthday. Dad had died years before. There was nothing left unsaid. No hidden resentment. She was a wonderful, caring, loving person who went to be with God exactly at the time that he wanted her to come. But she was very sick in the hospital. We were all gathered around. A nurse came into the room and said, "Hello, I'm Janice, the palliative care nurse for Anna. She's going right now." And we said, "Thank you. She's going right now." "Mom, it was the briefest palliative care that Janice had ever given." We gathered around her bed. And we prayed and we sang to her and we caressed her and stroked her hair. As all of the monitors everywhere, the numbers got lower and lower, red lines started appearing, alarms started going off, and Janice moved around the machines like a dancer, turning off monitors, unplugging machines. As things got lower and lower, and more still, till she was gone. It was tears, quiet prayers, and a hard, heavy silence. We sat there for a long time, until it was time for everybody to go, but the funeral director's men were taking a while to come, so I stayed with Mom. Everybody go, lots to do, lots of phone calls, lots of preparations. And I was alone with Mom. I pulled up a chair next to her. I was like a sad golden retriever standing watch. Mom was laying there in that unattractive way that we'd all like to think we'll avoid when we die, but we'll all look like that. I just sat there and thanked her and prayed, "Dear God, take her into your light. Angels gather around her and lift her up. Dad'll have the coffee on. Angels take her to Dad. He'll know the way." And a male nurse poked his head in the door. "Sorry for your loss. Is somebody coming for her?" "Yes, the funeral director's men are delayed, but..." "Oh, okay. Well, this is cardiac intensive care, though, so you can stay here a while. It's delayed, whatever, but eventually we're going to have to do some things." "I'll wait if that's all right." "Hey, no, that's fine. But listen, there are some things we need to do with the tubes, the wires, and whatnot, that before she goes, we got to take that out, if that's... I mean, you could stay, but we need..." "I understand. Do what you have to do. Angels take her to God. Thank you, Mom, for everything." So, Back to the Future, right? Pardon me? Back to the Future. We're all talking about it. He's pulling out tubes from her arms, her legs, her heart that no longer beats. "That must have been awesome, huh? Such a classic. Man, this is so cool." Whoops. Oh, sorry, sometimes some liquid comes out. "Yo, Michael J. Fox, huh? That is a shame. That is terrible what happened to him, huh?" "Yes, Michael J. Fox, it's a tough break." This really happened. I mean, I'm in a tiny dark room with flickering fluorescent bulbs, an electric bed full of my dead mom, and this guy is asking me Back to the Future questions. Now, I'm in danger of flipping out. I mean a real flip out. I'm not sure I could flip back in after flipping out to the extent to which I was about to flip out. So, I'm in a hospital. My brain was crackling, and I just started answering the guy. "We had no idea it would be so popular. Yes, the DeLorean is a really cool car. Yes, it was so much fun to make those movies. There wasn't real manure in it, no." "I knew it! Yo, I knew it! Unbelievable! Oh, wait till I go to O'Brien's, tell Mikey and Nick I met the butthead guy. Hello? Anybody home?" I mean, his mom was dead, but he seemed, he was low-key, but we talked. We're close. He's famous.
My favorite band, Emily and I were going to a concert in LA at the Troubadour, small little venue. And we met them after, and honestly, I kind of felt like a creepy fan. I was just like fangirling, and I really wanted them to come over and have dinner with us. So I think after the concert, we went up, we're like, "Hey, how's it going? Like, would you guys want to come over for like a barbecue tomorrow by any chance?" Like, sometimes some bands come over, which is true. Because our dad, he's an actor, I don't know if you know, but like he played Biff in Back to the Future, and they were like, "What? Oh my gosh." And that just gave us the street cred that we weren't like crazy fans, I think. And then they were down to come over the next day, and that's one of my fondest memories, is having a favorite band over for a barbecue, and we all just like swam in the pool and had a great time. And yeah, so did a little name drop for that. Well, name drop, yeah.
Got to the hotel. the room was warm, but I thought, well, I just got to get some sleep. Didn't get any sleep. Middle of the night, I checked the thermostat. The room is 78 degrees. I called downstairs. They sent the engineer up. Great guy. I smelled something burning. The whole motor of the air conditioner had burned out and was. He opened the wall. Nice guy, middle of the night. His girlfriend's from Peru. She's studying dentistry. He wants to eventually invest in real estate. The room finally started cooling down at about 3:30. I didn't sleep very well at all. Welcome to Chicago. Did you ever see the movie Things Change? David Mamet movie. Joe Mantegna, great movie. Anyway, Things Change. Michael has decided, quite rightly, he's not going to be part of the panel, so I don't know if there's a panel. I don't know what's going on. And my shirt's not particularly well ironed, and I haven't slept. Here we go. Tell me, Chuck, you're based here?
Based out of Philly.
Philly?
Yep.
That I knew I liked you.
Yeah, because you're local too, right?
From Philly, yeah. Because that's where we met, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But you travel with the show.
I do probably 7 or 8 a year.
It's a pretty good gig?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's fun. It's a nice little side break from the normal pay the bills job.
Yeah. What's the pay the bills job?
Engineer.
Yes. I just keep saying yes, like I knew. But I do remember that it was engineering, that you were a smart guy.
One way out! One way out! One way out! One way out! One way out!
We ride in golf carts.
In the bowels of the convention hall.
You always have to go through where they're cleaning the dishes, you know? They're filling the water bottles.
Kind of makes me feel cool because it says authorized personnel only.
Look at all those jackets that Michael signs. Hello, sir. How are you doing? I had no idea. I'm signing those jackets. Do you think my eyes have big enough bags under them? This is called a private signing, where people have sent their things from all over the place to a specific company, and they'll set it up at the perimeter of the convention here. So look at all these DeLoreans and hoverboards that I sign for I don't know what it is. We're doing our best.
Back to the Future, I found it in high school, and it kind of just got me through one of the hardest times ever.
It brought my family together. It's amazing.
Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time since I was a little kid. It's in my baby book.
Childhood dreams. I sat on the floor eating spaghetti. I was watching you guys the whole entire life. Honestly, we watched it last night. Yeah, it was amazing.
I tried to get a hold of these and couldn't. Congratulations.
The whole thing?
Okay. Please, no crushing the people in front. Tom is very temperamental. He's just a key person, so no touching. Like this. No touching.
Ready! Ready! Ready!
Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Let me take your picture, Brody, because you look fantastic. My mic stand holder, Brody, yeah! Let's go on with the show! Brody! So on behalf of Michael and Chris, of Leah and myself, thank you very much, and we love you, and we get it, okay? God bless you. Let's move, baby. I got a great shot of you and Leah from my camera. I'll send it to her.
Oh, okay.
Hi. How's it going?
I don't know if I'm supposed to go in or not. Does anybody
Just
know?
sit on my lap for the shots.
Okay,
It'll be
okay,
fine.
Okay. Yeah, so
Wait.
Ready! Ready! Ready!
Fist bump, brother. Fist bump. All right. Fist bump. Fist bump. All right. Not you.
That works okay?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much, sir.
I'm exhausted, man.
Love you, man.
Love you, man.
You have a good day.
Thank you, you too. So I went to the fancy schmancy steakhouse. I'm exhausted. I said, hey, could you make me a cheeseburger? He said, well, it's not on the menu. I said, please, because they had recognized me, and hey, tell the guys, make me a cheeseburger. He says, do you want fries? All right, they'll make you fries. Right at the end of the meal, the maitre d' comes up and says, you know, sir, your castmates are in a private room right over there if you'd like to say hello. I say, okay, so I went into the room right in there, and there's Michael and Leah, Leah's sister, Michael's assistant. Oh, the whole team was in there. And Michael and Leah had me sit down there, and we just spent 2 hours plus just talking to each other. It was amazing. We talked about 1984. I mean, the scenes we were in, the auditions we had. We just, remember that time in the gunfight in the third one when that horse did the oh yeah. Remember when Crispin was in the cafeteria and the thing happened, and you know, we were just old timers talking about old times. I have no video to show you about it, no photo, but hey brother, how's it going? What do you want to say? Hi. Hi.
I'm just going.
How's it going?
Good.
I think throughout my life watching Dad, it's been so challenging, I think, for me. We're a family of artists, right? We're a family of artists. A lot of us have many different artistic talents, whether that's singing, acting, dancing, this, that, whatever. And it's been so challenging to see our dad, who is such a multifaceted, incredibly deep, amazing person, like shoved into this one facet and not seen for so many different amazing facets and talents and really just depth. And I think that was hard for me my whole life, is to have a dad who has a lot of depth and people never like being able to see that because he was like shoved into this one facet, you know? It's like, that's, you know, people, you like these stories like, oh, your dad is this, and it's like, that was one thing I would always say. He's like the most wonderful, multifaceted, like you don't even understand who he is. Like you know him for this, but it's like he's so deep and he's so good. Like he's such a great man. Another lesson that I learned from who you are, just over time, and I can remember so many moments throughout my life, was what it means to be gracious. And that gets me the most emotional because I never, and I don't care that I'm crying, I'm so pregnant and it's so emotional, but there's never been a time where I've seen my dad be short and unkind in so many situations where he could have been, or he could have, you know, been a celebrity. And celebrities, you know, it's a hard thing because people are bothering you constantly. So there comes a point where you're in a hurry or whatever, and you have to be short with a person, or you choose to be short with a person. And there's never been a time where I remember him just like being unkind to someone or cutting someone off or anything like that. And in my own life, I'm a public figure in a much smaller way. But he really taught me, you taught me what it means to have an interaction with a person and just honor that what you did means something to them. The one story that I remember is when you had your second hip replaced. We were at the Topanga Mall eating, Stone Oven? Stone Oven, they have good bread. We were eating Stone Oven, and you had your crutches, and you didn't look good because you had surgery like 72 hours before or whatever. Who looks good at 72 hours after surgery? You looked tired and overwhelmed, as any person would after they had their hip replaced. And your crutches were there, and I think you were like, you know, just like in sweatpants, and your hair was everywhere, and you're just like, you know, we're just there eating. And people just, you know, had the audacity to come up and not see, like, he's not in a spot to, like, talk to us right now. Like, this is, like, he's got his crutches, something must be going on. To still come and to still say, like, you know, talk as the whole thing goes, to still ask for a picture, and you got up. You got out of your chair, and you took a picture with him, and do this. I would say, I just had surgery. Please leave me alone. But you got out of your chair with your replaced hip and you took a picture and you were so kind. And that's who you've always been. And people have no idea, no clue. They'll never know. But we have watched it our whole entire lives. Just that level of kindness and grace and goodness to people because you were a part of something that mattered so much to them.
Thank you, sweetheart. I remember that moment because I crutched back to the table with our family and I thought Mom was going to
I think it was late 85, 86. And we would watch, probably 2 or 3 times a week, we would sit at the tables, the TV trays. Mom would make dinner, and we would watch Back to the Future. They would have this tower of VCRs in a case, and you would rent the VCR, you would take it home. There were instructions on how to connect it to the back of the television. As I grew older, I would just put it on as almost like a not a feel-good movie, but just something that just have it on in the background to watch it before I went to sleep, kind of thing. Like a comfort thing. It was a comforting thing. Just throw it on. You know the dialogue, you have it memorized, almost like listening to a song. Like, you know, you're flipping through the radio and you know a song. It's just an 87-minute song, so you could just put it on and have it just run its course.
An 87-minute song.
Exactly.
So I was flying from Tokyo to LAX, Los Angeles International Airport. When you fly from Asia into Los Angeles, you're just hoping that 6 other 747s aren't landing at the same time as you do from Singapore and Tahiti and everywhere. But I was coming in and yes, there were 747s unloading hundreds and hundreds of people into the cattle chute at LAX leading to U.S. Customs, where everyone's rolling their bag and people are walking faster and faster and ladies are starting to elbow you because people want to get to that huge room and want to get to the front of the line to get into the country because it can be lots of people. I don't walk that quickly anyway, and I'm easy to elbow, so I came down the huge escalator into the cavernous room of customs with the serpentine line back and forth behind hundreds of people. The man in the booth, way up in the front, customs officer, looks at me, goes, me? Now, I don't think what you think that I think when people do that, because when I do, sometimes I get taken to the room. For whatever reason, you've been selected for additional screening, and I go and get completely disassembled. And I'm thinking, oh no, I'm just trying to get home. I'm behind 300 people, and the guy, yes. So I have to go through the serpentine. Pardon me, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. But ow, she elbowed me, excuse me. I get to the front of the line. See, yes? He said, did you fly a DeLorean to get here? Oh, yeah. He goes, okay, what are you looking at, butthead? Come on in. I have a passport, but come on, hello? Anybody home? So sometimes my face doesn't need a passport.
If I ever feel like I have to win a fun fact, a round of fun facts, I just throw in the Back to the Future thing, or if it's a younger crowd, SpongeBob, and I win every time.
It's more of a fun fact that someone else shares for me instead of me sharing it. That's what happens at a party, right? And I think that's the good and the bad of it. Sometimes I think sometimes you're prepared for that and sometimes you're not prepared for that. And I remember going to my 5-year high school reunion and people would talk to me and then someone came up to me and said, hey, I wanted to ask you. And I said, oh, is it about my brother? It's first, like I just said, Is it about my brother? And they said, oh, no, it's not about your brother. So then people are talking to me and then I said, well, what did you want to ask me? Oh, it was about your brother, right? And so many years ago at my 5-year high school reunion, that probably wasn't a great feeling. But that person wouldn't talk to me anyway, so it's okay. But today, I think we've come through the maturity of it, right? To kind of go, hey, you know what? It's a great thing. We've had a great time. And so what's there to not be happy about? going to premieres. I mean, I've been really blessed to experience a lot of things. So I think all in all, it was a really positive experience. I think the little bit of where people are asking you questions and not asking you about your other brothers, or questions where they're not asking you about you. I mean, that's the thing I think that happens in that space. And I think at the end of the day, that's natural, and people are curious, and you work through it, and you move on. And but it's been a great experience. It's been really a blessing. It's been a blessing, I think, overall. And I think our parents were so proud and excited, and those things are great. It's been a blessing.
So it's still fun for me to tell people, you're my fun fact. To tell people, hey, this is my uncle. I will say this too. I always do add in, you know what? He's the nicest guy. He is not like his character whatsoever. It's really a joy to know you and to know that your character is the complete opposite of who you are.
All right,
no,
there
stop.
it is. There.
Take it that.
To what Back to the Future means. Come on, you're in a vlog. Come on, man, you watch them all.
One little thing.
Oh, do you use it as a fun fact? You can admit that. Do you use it as a fun fact? Okay, there you go. Okay. Ben, you use it as a fun fact.
What?
Never mind.
He says he hasn't seen it.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Back to the
Ben, you seriously, you never saw Back to the Future?
Yeah. I haven't.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I feel like the longer it goes, the funnier it gets.
That is so funny. Wait, I got high five. That's great. That's great. Salt Lake City, and I'm concerned. I'm trying to do different shots, a different approach to these sorts of experiences, but I end up with the same footage. We go, we meet people, we ask them about their experience of the movie, we do photo ops with everyone. Michael and Chris are there. I don't think Leah's here this time, but it's about the same stuff. So I'm trying to see if we can change it up somehow. I haven't seen James. We saw each other last night, but I hadn't seen him in like 4 years. James, Jet.
This is what it's like to hug Tom Wilson.
Look at
this is what it feels like.
Does it hurt?
Kinda.
Sorry.
It's okay.
That's Jim Tolkien, the king of hanging out right there.
Hi, you're here. How are you doing?
Hello, my friend. How you doing, buddy? So good to see you. I love you, pal. You're the best. You're the Who's the best? You.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, buddy.
I just noticed that you play great ukulele. How long have you been playing the ukulele?
So long that I should actually be much better than I am.
So Back to the Future means like a lot to me. Me and my dad, like he wasn't awake most of the time. He was kind of sleeping because he had night shift, and he wasn't awake and up around us a lot. So having actually like a really good movie that we could actually bond over was really great for us. And I'm really grateful that you were a part of it. I'm gonna cry.
It was just part of my childhood and part of making me grow up to be the nerd that I am.
Everyone that I ever met knows that I love this movie. So it's about sharing a part of my identity with other people.
What Back to the Future has meant to me is all these years after we did it, it's still generating an income. It's amazing.
I think it was positive for the most part. I would say net positive impact.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Because I know with your baseball and everything, it was like, it seemed to be in like
Yeah.
You got drafted by the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, I was upset.
Yeah.
Because MLB did a whole story with their clowns on the internet, making a whole kind of, butthead festival about the whole thing. And I was really ticked off.
Yeah, I think net positive. I think all that stuff is like not ideal, right? But I don't think me, like as a 19th rounder, like for those people who don't know, like a 19th rounder is not the most important pick in the draft. Like most 19th rounders aren't really getting an article about themselves. So like it's kind of cool, you know? And like it's not obviously great that like my name's not even in the title or whatever. Like it's like, oh, Biff's son gets drafted by the Mets, and it's like, well, that's a bummer. But then it's like, oh, well, I'm getting an article, you know? And they're actually like kind of talking about me. Whereas like most 19th rounders and beyond are not getting, no one's talking about them. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool, you know, and like probably a number of other articles I would have not had if they didn't want that little juicy tidbit about you being, you know, you playing Biff from Back to the Future. Like obviously it's a big deal, but like obviously everybody, like fans and videos and everybody you've interacted with in your life, it's like you know, I can't, like it's the biggest thing that's ever happened. You know what I mean to them?
Yeah.
So they're like coming up to me like expecting me to react like, oh yeah, like, you know, but it's like,
yeah, but isn't it the best?
Like it's crazy. What's it like? You know, all this stuff, and I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know. Like he's just my dad, you know. So that I'll start with that as like the negative, but the positive out of that is like seeing people's reactions to it. You know, like seeing how much people loved it and how people loved your performance in it and like how it impacted their lives and their families and they grew up on it, you know, all that stuff. And I think is fun to hear, you know. I think that's cool that obviously you were such a big part of that. So that's like, that's positive, and I always enjoyed hearing people, you know, talk about it in that sense. You know, I don't know if this was, what age this was. I think maybe like early teens. But I remember having the third Back to the Future on the TV, and I was like, oh, I'll turn it off. Like, you walked in the room, and I was like, oh, I'll change or whatever. And you were like, no, it's okay. And I don't remember a lot of it, but I remember we watched the whole movie, and you, like, told me all these stories, like, about the scenes and the sets and stuff, and that was really cool. So I remember that very fondly. I don't know what age that was, but that was cool.
That was great. I'm so glad you said that.
That was nice.
Because that was my thing. I'm not keeping you from it.
Of course,
it's not some big secret. The movies are great.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fantastic movies.
Yeah.
And I'm unbelievable in them.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's it. People always ask me, when did you know it was going to be a big hit? I mean, huge. Did you get a feeling about that? Well, 2 weeks after the movie was released, Crispin Glover and I went out to dinner to Cantor's Deli. We walked into the restaurant, and the entire place froze in shock. This one right here? Okay.
It says, funds are low. Need a sugar daddy.
Funds are low, need a sugar daddy. That's your real purse?
Yeah. I said, it's in my...
Okay, sugar daddy audition right here. Here we go.
Yeah, I recognize you. You were in Back to the Future?
Yes, I was.
I recognize you.
And
you were the mean guy Biff? Or
yes, and Griff and Buford, Mad Dog 10, yeah. And we came here.
You're the guy that was the mean guy that was the bully that bullied Crispin Glover. You were actually that dude.
Yes.
That's incredible.
And I would say that we came here not understanding that everyone had seen the movie because we came in here for dinner after it came out, 1985.
Shortly after the movie came out.
Yes, so we came into here.
You and Crispin.
The whole place froze. Everyone was mumbling to each other. We had no idea why. Everyone was staring at us.
They all knew you.
So we sat down and we had no idea. And then Crispin says, oh, maybe they saw the movie. And yeah, they had. Everyone see the movie.
I don't want to bother you too much, but I got a friend back in Dallas named Eddie Carp. Eddie, Fast Eddie. And his last name isn't Carp. He trained me to DJ, and he told me one time that Back to the Future made him cry. He said it was so emotional when he watched that movie. It's his favorite movie. It made him cry.
You started on Hollywood Boulevard in an Iron Man suit, posing for pictures with tourists.
Yeah.
That was your start.
In a cheaper suit. Then I build up to a more expensive.
Okay.
Oh, Crispin Glover was the real father. was the real father of Michael J. Fox. I want to.
Hey, wait a minute, Jeff. You stay right there.
He said I could talk to him for a moment.
I'm going to go back to my French fries, if that's okay.
Sorry, but
no, I
there's
want
just
you.
one more thing I wanted to say.
Okay,
I'm not going to take you forever.
Sure, I guess. Well, yeah.
But what I was just saying is, you're not going to believe this. I was an extra in a scene from the show Entourage here in 2009 over there.
You know what? I believe you. I did not foresee this happening. Being on a live stream with hi, everybody. The thing about fame is, it is ludicrous. I mean, it's ridiculous. The concept that this person over here, we should admire and listen to them because a lot of eyeballs have looked at them, other eyeballs that were not ours, and they've been on movies or television or whatever. This person over here, well, they're not important at all. And who cares what they have to say? Because after all, they haven't been televised. It is absolutely preposterous, absurd. Okay, it's not worthless, but it is absurd. Well, it's not worthless because, yes, I've met some people that are from movies and television. Well, that guy from, hello, very nice to meet you. Whoa, he was great in that. Oh, hello. And I've done it. I was at a convention once. It was a lunch table. And it's me, Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman, Gene Simmons from KISS, yes, and me, lunch table. And I finally said, guys, got to admit, this is a pretty crazy lunch, huh? And they were eating their sandwiches like, what do you mean? So I've got to meet a lot of people, and yes, I understand. It's fun. One person, I didn't even go over to meet him. I was so nervous. I didn't want to gush. It was Adam West, Batman. The Batman. Yes, from the 1966 television show that I watched as a boy, The Batman. Adam West would come to these conventions 92 years old, in a pastel sweater, chinos, those slightly tinted glasses that movie stars wear, in a scooter. Yes, he was 92, scooting around. He looked like James Bond on the scooter. He just was handsome and dashing and everything. And I try at these events. I mean, I wear a jacket, I take a shower, but it seems the best I can do is kind of disheveled buffalo or something. I try to hit it above that, and I get about at the disheveled buffalo state, and that's anyway. Adam West was at these events, and I didn't go over to talk to him because I thought I would gush, Mr. West, you're Batman. I just wanted to, so I wanted to prevent that. But one day, one of them, he was scooting up, and I thought he was trying to leave. Like, maybe I should get, he scooted right up to me. I had no choice. Mr. West, my name is, he said, I know who you are. Tom Wilson, I'm a big fan of yours. Excellent work. It was like I was swimming in champagne. Batman knows who I am. I mean, that guy is Batman. And if he just, look, Tom, you're an actor too. You're a human being and a person, and you are not the role that you played. He is not Batman. He is Adam West, an actor. I know that. But Batman knows my name. Unbelievably, we actually became friendly at some of these things. We would joke around. He was funny and personable. And the last time I ever saw him, he was far across the room, sitting on a sofa in one of the green rooms before you go out to meet the people. He called me over. Come sit with me. So I sat down, and we're talking and joking, and I'm filled with the conscience. Batman is a friend of mine. I mean, I had the T-shirt with Batman when I was 8 years old, and here he's, but stop, wait a minute. I said, Mr. West, can I tell you something? He said, please, call me Adam, Tom. Okay. Something happened to you that was out of your control. And it happened to me too. You were an actor, you got a job, and you performed that role, and it so galvanized the audience that they couldn't recover from it. It hit them so hard in their mind, their heart. It was such a part of their childhood, their screen. that they couldn't let it go. They couldn't get over it. And I gave you a real challenge. And the same thing happened to me. But everywhere I've seen you, these events on television, you've dealt with it with grace, good humor and class, kindness. Well, that's been a great example to me. And I've tried to do that. And I wanted to thank you. And his eyes filled with tears. I made Batman cry. I mean, his experience, my experience, melded into one thing as he extended his hand toward me, and I took it. And he said, "You're a good man." Well, I'm famous because I was in those big movies, and I'm too famous because those big movies took over everything, and I'm big, and my head is big, and I go places, and people go, "Oh, it's the guy from The Thing," and I'm not famous enough because I didn't play Marty or Doc, and everybody remembered The Big Thing, and I look like a bully because I'm bigger than any actor I've ever met, and people say, "Hello, hey, punch my nephew." I understand that, but you know what? None of it matters. You know why? Because Batman says I'm a good man. That's pretty good.
I love you.
Thanks, brother.
Are you glad you did it, or do you wish you had never done it?
That's a loaded question.
Or will I find out in the film?
Happy trails to you till we